Happy Apple Fest! It is a gorgeous day to be live here in Bayfield. This is The Lift. Hello, I'm Bayfield. Thank you so much for joining me here in beautiful northern Wisconsin. It is Bayfield Apple Fest weekend, and what a gorgeous one for it. This place is hopping, and for good reason. We have a great show for you today. We're going to chat with a local author who finds inspiration here in the Bayfield area, plus visit a local orchard and even a winery. And shout out to Kara Overland, American Family Insurance, for making today's show possible by sponsoring us. So all of that coming up, but we want to start with a very special Taste Test Friday, because of course Apple Fest is about all things Apple and using it in any way you can. So I want to start with the cider donuts from Erickson's Orchard, because these are like an Apple Fest staple that a lot of people say you have to get every year, and I've never had one before. So I picked up a couple cider donuts to give these a try. Erickson's has a great little stand down here selling cider and apples and juice, and then of course you can also go out to their orchard. So, ooh, super nice cinnamony flavor. This would be great with a cup of coffee if you're coming maybe tomorrow morning. Definitely would recommend that. And then this little creation was just delivered to us. This is the Wapple cone. So think waffle, but apple. Wapple cone. It's a homemade waffle cone. And then inside around it is a cheesecake filling. And then there's these hot spiced apples and a streusel on top. It smells and looks delicious, and I can't wait to try this too. Oh yeah. It's like a handheld little apple pie. And if you're one of those people that likes the crispy parts of the crust, you get a cone with it. How perfect is that? So good. I've also seen apple pie nachos. We tried a caramel apple churro that was really good. Apple brats are calling my name for dinner, so if you're looking for something to eat this weekend, I mean, it's free to come in here to Apple Fest and then check out all the delicious food there is to offer. Here's a look at some of the new happenings here at Bayfield Apple Festival. Brand new at Apple Fest is a petting zoo, the stars of which are Scottish Highland calves. For $8, you can go into the petting zoo and hang out with them, a mini horse, some goats, and sweet little chicks. It's really an awesome spot for families to let the kids run a bit. Coming up at 5, I will chat with the owner about why she fell in love with the Scottish Highlands. And the weekend all culminates in the big Apple Fest parade. That is planned for 2 on Sunday afternoon. It goes down Rittenhouse Avenue. The Thunder Bay Pipes and Drums will play, and a favorite is always the mass band playing on Wisconsin during that. But if you can't make it, there's a new way to participate. The Chamber is streaming the parade live on their website and social media channels. You can find it at bayfield.org. Apple Fest, of course, is a great excuse to visit Bayfield, hop on the ferry over to Madeline Island, or just explore the surrounding area. And it's provided inspiration to a local author whose latest children's book releases next week.
Well, Thomas, will you tell me where your writing career began?
Well, I started writing probably 50 years ago. I started doing poetry and submitting poetry to like little literary journals that really no one reads, and then continued on after I began teaching at UMD, doing academic stuff, and then I transitioned over to children's books and adult fiction.
What do you enjoy about the children's book writing?
Well, children's book writing is challenging in one aspect because you need to think about not only their interest level or but also like reading level, and then it's important to think about, especially when writing about Ojibwe things, what can be told and what can't be told, and what children should know that they can continue to tell and to read once they become adults.
So tell me about the naming of Aki.
Okay, the naming of a key is really it's an old traditional Anishinaabe Ojibwe story about when the Creator sent first human and Maingan Wolf out to name all things. And of course, they were really very much humbled by it. And and I imagine that this naming took many generations to do because they had to name everything on a key, everything on earth. Alison Horner, the illustrator, did this amazingly beautiful job of illustrating the story, of taking the story and doing the illustrations for it. I understand that she's been nominated for a national award.
What do you hope that kids can take away from this book?
I'd like them to know the story, because the story is such a fundamental piece of our Ojibwe storytelling. And these are stories, of course, that were told orally for thousands of years, and we've taken and put them into written form. So I'd like young children in particular to hear the story, so that, when they reach a certain age, and they'll be able to know the story and to tell this story, and hopefully we can return back to that oral tradition again.
Right. What inspiration do you draw from the Bayfield area?
Bayfield, of course, is the homeland of the Ojibwe Nation. Madeline Island is where our ancestors settled after the migration, from Newfoundland and New Brunswick and the New England area, generations ago, and they came to the place that, was prophesized, in our stories, and they found that place and settled there. And so it's a very, very special place to Ojibwe people, very sacred place.
The book launch is happening in a few weeks right here in Bayfield. Thomas will be at Honest Dog Books at 7 p.m. on October 25th. And we're not the only ones at a big event this weekend. The Safe Flight Legacy Challenge is also happening on Lake Vermilion. We'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Justin Lyles there after this break. The lift is bobbing for apples, and Justin Lyles is casting for walleyes. Justin, is it as gorgeous up on Lake Vermilion tonight?
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful out here. I think at one point today I saw on the dash of my car, which it could be a little relative, the temperature was about 86 degrees, and the water temperature when driving the boat across the lake into the docks right here was 67 degrees. So yes, it is very warm, and if you thought today was warm, tomorrow is going to be even warmer. This is live, of course, up at Lake Vermilion for the Safe Flight Legacy Classic, where they only allow the legends to fish. That's not true. But anyway, we are looking at beautiful conditions, and if you thought today was hot, tomorrow is going to be even warmer. So where you're at, way away from Lake Vermilion, on the other side of Lake Superior, you're looking at temperatures being in the low 80s. It is going to be just really warm. The one thing you will notice tomorrow, though, is it might start off a bit calm in the morning, but the winds are going to pick up by the afternoon hours for sure. And then we'll be looking at some sunshine rolling in here on Sunday. So tomorrow, again, over in Bayfield, the way it breaks down for you is it starts off with some lighter winds, but then around that noon hour, it starts to increase heading into the afternoon and evening hours. But overall, if you're visiting Bayfield tomorrow, if you want to get out and see the fall colors, it is going to be absolutely fantastic. Up here where I am, we are looking at the Walleye Classic. We have 80 boats registered for this tournament. Again, this is a fundraiser that helps bring money back into the local community up here to help educate and help impact the lives of youths up here, the young people up here. But you can see we are dealing with temperatures that are going to be in the low 70s, close to 80 degrees by 3 p.m. But again, it's the wind speeds that will be increasing by tomorrow afternoon. Regardless, whether you're up here, up by Lake Vermilion, whether you're down across the lake by Bayfield, it is going to be beautiful all over the Northland this weekend. So try to get outside and enjoy it for sure.
Oh yeah, just an incredible weekend. Everybody's been asking if we're setting records here in Bayfield, so you'll have to look into that next week, maybe, Justin. But back here at Applefest, there is a new spot for cider sampling. We will show you that and tour a local cider operation next. New this year at the Bayfield Apple Festival, a cider garden, because of course. It's located on Rittenhouse Avenue. There you can sample hard cider from 2 local spots, Apfel House and Blue Ox. Now, Apfel House is made at Hauser's Superior View Farm. Our Spencer Pierce went to see what they do and why a downtown Applefest cider garden just made sense.
We're here at the wonderful Hauser with my good friend Dane. Dane, 5th generation here. Talk to me a little bit about what that's meant to you over the last few years and just through your life.
It's been huge. You know, this is a family event. We have probably 30 to 40 family members come up just for this event for Applefest weekend, and we really couldn't do it without them. So, 5 generations ago. I don't know how they did things back then, but it's, probably very similar. Working alongside my father, my grandfather is a big part of it. I've heard back another cousin a few years ago. It's just working with people you love, and it's a beautiful area. And it's exciting to see this farm kind of transition to the next century. We're actually bottling our fresh, non-pasteurized raw cider. So I do this in season only. It's only offered for probably 3 to 4 weeks during apple season only, and only from the farm site. And it's non-pasteurized, there's no preservatives, so it's straight apple cider or apple juice. It's 100% juice. You're grinding and pressing thousands of gallons of juice. To me, I think you just have ultimately you have more control. What blends of apples you're putting into your ciders, the cleanliness, there's so many more reasons why, but it's just control, but control is quality.
Something new this year at Bayfield is the cider garden. Can you talk to me a little bit about what's kind of going on there, what you're expecting?
Been in the works for probably 6 years. Super excited, we're downtown. There's 2 of us, so it's us and Blue Ox Cider, who are right down the road. And I believe we're each going to be offering 4 flavors. For ourselves, we'll have the apple pie, the apple fest, the tart cherry, and then my non-alcoholic sparkling cider.
Well, Dane, of course, thank you so much for having us. It was a pleasure to talk and also to kind of see the process of what you guys are doing here. You're pumping out absolute greatness, and can't wait to see you at Applefest this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You said you'll be down there, so if you see the man, give him a hello, maybe a few dollars for that excellent cider as well.
Oh yes, well, as Dane said, Blue Ox cider will also be served in the garden. It's made out at the Bayfield Winery, and that's our next stop here on this Applefest lift. Well, welcome back live here in Bayfield. Apples, of course, are the star of the show this weekend, and they should be. But did you know that this region can also grow grapes? Phil, so fun to be out here in the vineyards near Bayfield. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
So tell me about Bayfield Winery and Blue Ox Cider.
So to give you a little history, myself and my wife run the operation. We became owners in 2021. I used to work for the previous owners. The Bayfield Winery itself started as apple and fruit wines back in '95.
Okay.
Then I worked for them for about 4 years and they retired, and it was about the same time my wife and I were about to start our own hard cider business. And so instead of starting that around the corner, we added that on and kept the grapes going. And so we made a lot of changes, kept some things,
Right.
But kind of putting our own spin on it now.
What drew you to this area, and what do you enjoy about, working with the fruit that you can grow here?
It's fun. Like, it's fun because people are so surprised that you can grow a lot of this here.
Yes.
But a lot of that goes to the University of Minnesota and some private breeders. There's so many grapes now that work well up here. And we're not as cold as people think. So we don't get as heavy extremes.
Okay.
But it's a fun region. There's so many weird microclimates. The
There
grapes really enjoy it up here too. We get a lot of snow, which is good. Our main focus going forward with the grapes here is going to be a lot of sparkling wines, crisp whites, rosés. On really warm years, we do some nice full reds. But our region definitely works for more of the crisp wines and then the ciders too. So obviously there's a big apple region here already.
What's it like being just sort of in this community around here? Because you can really just hop from farm to farm and orchard to orchard and check the place out.
The old Fruit Loop.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of fun spots to go, and everybody kind of has their own flavor and style to it too. There's so many different options between different apple butters, bakery items, pies, caramel apples, all that good stuff, and cider, fresh cider, hard cider.
So some of these grapes haven't been picked yet. So what's still on the vine?
So we still have most of them on the vines,
Okay.
Which sounds frightening to most vineyards in the state, but we're always 3 to 4 weeks behind. And so we grow out behind us. There's Marquette, Adelmina, and Brianna in this plot, and then we have another vineyard with more Marquette, Frontenac, St. Croix, Itasca, and La Crescent.
And you have a tasting room right here on the property.
We do. We have a small tasting room here where we have indoor inside of our farmhouse. We offer tastings by the flight, or we serve by the glass bottle, do cheese and charcuterie. But then we also have an outdoor area. But our whole vibe here is to have people slow down and relax. We're definitely not a party spot, but we're a relaxed spot.
Well, I'd love to taste a little bit of what you guys have been making.
Love to share it.
Well, this looks fabulous so far. Tell me what you poured for me.
So I got you a wide variety of what we offer.
Okay.
Right now we do have 22 different items between our wines, apple and fruit wines, and hard ciders.
Oh my goodness.
But I got 4 of our most popular. So this first one here, we just got double gold from the International Cold Climate Competition. It's called Sand Island.
Okay.
It's a white wine made with Frontenac Gris and Prairie Star grapes. Similar to a Pinot Grigio in style, but it's very different on its own too, because it's very different grapes.
Nice little tartness to it.
I always like a little tartness here.
Yeah.
Now we have Devil's Island. This is our best seller out of everything we make. Pinot Noir drinkers love it, but it's made with the Frontenac grape.
I'm normally a red wine fan, so I like that. That's really nice.
That one it's flying. Now that it's fall again and red wines are getting back into season, we're having trouble keeping up with that one right now.
It's very easy to drink.
And the next one, which is the big one for Apple Fest, this is all Honeycrisp apples. This is an apple wine, but 100% Honeycrisp grown in the backfield here.
Wow.
Touch sweeter than the others, so it's kind of down the middle of the road, but this during Apple Fest week, and we've run out before.
It smells fresh.
Yeah.
And I think when you think Apple Fest, you think cider, so it's kind of fun to try an apple wine.
Different than a cider where it's going to be no bubbles, a little higher alcohol. It's about 10% alcohol
But
in
it's
there.
sweet and really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is probably our best-selling cider. It's ginger cider. So we use in a 300-gallon batch 90 pounds of ginger root. We'll be serving Autumn Crisp and that downtown in the cider booth.
I love that. I am a big fan
It makes
of
a mean
ginger.
Moscow Mule too.
As far as the season goes, like for how long can people come visit you here?
So our tasting room will be open through November.
Okay.
In October, we're just closed Mondays. Otherwise, we're 11 to 6, Tuesday through Sunday. But then we shut down for the winter months to start working on production and getting the trees and everything and us back in shape after the season.
Well, it's hard to choose a favorite. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the bias of the last thing I tried, but I love that ginger cider.
We are going through a lot of that this year.
Oh my goodness. Well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for trying them.
Well, Apple Fest is just one of a list of events happening around town this weekend. Hear about a few other options when the lift continues. Well, this weekend is not only about apples. The 47th annual Cranberry Festival is also happening in Stone Lake. More than 30,000 visitors are expected to join. Main Street will be packed packed with over 300 vendors, crafts, and food. Tomorrow, you can tour a cranberry marsh, plus the parade is at 2. Immediately afterwards, it's time for the crate derby, and then a cranberry craze 5K is set for Sunday. More celebrating, this time in Finland, Minnesota, it's the Harvest Booyah Fest. It runs from 11 to 4 Saturday at the Claire Nelson Community Center. They say to come hungry. There will be plenty of booyah, which is a thick stew. It'll be served with homemade bread from Finnskogen Farm. It's a Sissu celebration with Finnish tunes, puro, and lefse too. And the house is going to the kids Sunday. I'm talking about the Glensheen Mansion. They're hosting a fall Children's Day. Activities will be set up around the grounds like giant tic-tac-toe, pumpkin bowling, and a leaf scavenger hunt. The Winter Garden will host arts and crafts. You do need a ticket, but just a grounds pass will do. That's $5 for adults and free for kids. We will see you out and about around town. Renee, I think all of these early October events just have to be thanking the heavens for such a nice weekend.
It probably makes up for some of the Octobers where it hasn't been so nice as it is today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, so much fun there in Bayfield. Thanks, Bailey. Well, from the same people who brought you Duluth Winter Village comes Gourd Days.